I was there live in person. When you want to talk about these preseason games, you want to check off the first team defense or offense, and Kenny Pickett and George Pickens look good, right?
Yeah, 33-yard connection. Don't forget about Diontae Johnson either. I thought it was a masterclass of hopefully what's to come from the Steelers offense in the 2023 season. A 10-play, 83-yard drive capped off by that 33-yard touchdown pass from Pickett to Pickens, a combo I fully expect to see a lot in the 2023 season. And it was a great throw. It was a rocket throw, but it was an even better run after the catch by George Pickens.
I mean, that's what George been doing all camp, Mark. And you got to see Diontae display his I can get open whenever I want to abilities, when it comes down to the route running. And we've been just trying to, we as in the Pittsburgh Steelers Nation, just been trying to see what Calvin Austin III looked like. And they say he's fast. And guess what he did on Friday? He ran right past somebody for a tutty. So it's just good to see the three young guys work with Kenny Pickett as well. Kenny going on the second year. We talked about it on our last show, Mark. Like, who are you looking for, Ike? And I was like, Kenny, man. Kenny looks night and day. So Kenny can stay healthy. Offensive line protected him well. And that's what you want to see as a coach. You want to see your first team, offense do them drives like that. And that's exactly what, the offense did on the first time on that 83-yard drive. But from a scouting standpoint, you just want to see the growth and progression of guys from year 1 to year 2. And this is exactly what we're doing. You want to see guys who in year 3 to 5, coming to their prime, coming to their own. And you start to see a little bit of that. You want to see rookie guys, the guys you drafted, can they contribute? Can they get on the field? And you starting to see that, So I'm sure I'm about to be in your head, but I'm going to let you top it off.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett going 6 of 7 on that opening drive, the lone drive. He was out there with the first team unit. To me, too, we're really excited about the combo with George Pickens, but it was the timing with Diontae Johnson. We know what he can do underneath. He's a great route runner. He can get open regardless of what kind of coverage you throw against him. But remember, it was Mitch Trubisky who was the starter a year ago, and now Kenny Pickett gets to have a full training camp, a full offseason to where he's the guy. So for me, that's really important to her. Yes, I am excited for George Pickens and some of the other weapons on offense, but Diontae Johnson, who has been a Pro Bowl receiver before, Ike, the fact that he can get a rapport and a timing with his quarterback too, I don't want to discount that, as exciting as the touchdown was with George Pickens.
Mark, you also got to look at it too. Like, Matt Canada finally this is third year in total, but this is first year really having a quarterback. His first year was with 7 Hall of Fame, Big Ben. But we all know, man, like seven gonna call what he won't call by the end of the day. And then on Matt Canada's second year, he had a carousel between Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and he get a rookie quarterback and Kenny Pickett. And for me, I'm just looking at it from afar. This is really like his first year, really having a quarterback who he can run his offense with. So it's going to be interesting to see from a Matt Canada standpoint too. But I feel like, the 3 years the 2 years he was here, he was getting some unjust criticism, so say. Just looking at it from afar, he finally gets a quarterback who he can run his offense with, not have to worry about a carousel.
That, and then he finally has offensive talent. He has the personnel, like, and I've always said this, you can't make a gourmet meal with bologna and potato chips. So to me, I've said this all off season long, the sum has to equal its parts with this offense. Now, everything we're saying, Ike, you've got to keep in mind, it's the preseason. It's one drive for the starters.
Correct.
We see what they do in the second game against the Bills, third game against the Falcons, and then week 1 against the 49ers, which to me, like, that's your real litmus test. Get a little bit of a larger sample size. But we've talked about this too, of, okay, the rationale and the thought process to keep Matt Canada as your offensive coordinator. It's several fold, it's tenfold, but the glass half full perspective is Kenny likes him. He's publicly said that too, saying this is someone I want to work with. Had you brought in a new offensive coordinator, that's a new system, that's new terminology, new playbook, to where Kenny Pickett, you can build upon what was starting to grow towards the back half of last season. And then I've said this too, Byron Leftwich was the guy that a lot of Steelers fans wanted to see the team bring in as offensive coordinator, bring him back to Pittsburgh. whether it was Frank Reich. There were a lot of great offensive minds out there. But if you achieve success this season with a new OC, Mike Tomlin's a defensive coach, you would be restarting that whole process of bringing in a new OC in 2024, because say they brought in Byron Leftwich. Let's live in that world for just a second, Ike. And he had achieved great success this season. He'd probably get hired as a head coach in 2024. So the reason you keep Matt Canada is for all of those reasons. I'm trying to keep my glass half full perspective, Ike, and I liked what I saw in the opener on Friday night. And if the Steelers can build upon that, that's going to be really, really exciting. And to me, you've got all the weapons to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the word I would use. You just used the word that was in my head, Bill. And that's what you want to see from not only a player's perspective, but from a coordinator perspective as well. So we shall see. From the end of last year to the beginning of this year, like you said, it's just one drive. So we'll see what goes on with this Buffalo Bills defense and what they got going on. But at the same time, it's just good to see, because it's been a lot of talk about the growth and development, not only on, Kenny Pickett and George Pickens, but also former Pro Bowl and probably one of the league's best route runners in Diontae Johnson. And we always wanted to see what a healthy Calvin Austin the third can do, and he's displayed that. We talked about speed, and that's exactly what he showed in between the lines, speed. So it's gonna be on Coach Matt Canada. We're definitely trying to give him as many weapons as possible to be successful as possible, because the more success we have, we all eat. So say from the top to the bottom when it comes down to that building. So I think things will work out perfectly fine, though.